Well, hey everybody, this is Bill Cook, and I wanted to kind of document the story of how I'm building up some affiliate sites, and this is in a minute I'll kind of go back and give you a little backstory on how I got here, but I just wanted to kind of introduce it before I started talking about it. So really, I started an affiliate site about a year ago. Didn't really do much to it. Actually, it was only about 9 months ago, and really did a little bit of work last summer. And really back in December, I kind of started getting serious with it, and I've started been working on it a little bit over time, and adding to it and doing some things to get it to rank better. And I started out just wanting to document this for myself so that I could take a look at it and watch and remember, where I was just a little while ago, so that I could see how much better things were today than where we started. So it's really kind of started out just for me to keep me motivated, and to keep me remembering where it came from, and to see the differences that I've made. And what I want to do now is really just kind of share that with everybody. Anybody that's interested. I'm a big believer in search engine optimization. Like I said, I'll tell the story in a minute, but anyway. It's not making any money right now, but one of the things, and this is, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I can certainly see this, and like I said, I'm tracking it, so I'm hoping that everybody can see this, and whether or not you can see it in the video, it's on my website. I've put these pictures here below the video that'll be up here where it says placeholder video by the time you see this. And anyway, this is kind of a screenshot of a tool that I use that shows me how many different keywords that I'm ranking for right now. And you can see that right now it's about 329, and there's 101. And this is over the last 7 days, we've increased by 101 new keywords that we're ranking for. And this is one of the reasons why I really wanted to document this, because, it's when you get 101 new terms in a week, that's pretty substantial, especially if you only got 329. That's, gosh, almost a 50% increase. It's pretty crazy for me. And the traffic is once again, it's at 13 when I checked this morning. And the traffic value is estimated at $2 per month is what Google's sending to the site now for free. And this really is just a screenshot of a single day. And I wanted a way to kind of track that historically. So I've got a spreadsheet, and it took me a while to figure out how to be able to add a line here and have, my formulas not get messed up. But either way, now I've got a spreadsheet that tracks all this information, just so that I can see how I've done from the last week and over the last month, so that I can have this kind of documented and for myself, so that I can see things as they improve. So once I get this down, once I've recorded the data for a week, then we'll start to see how much it's improved from yesterday, from a week ago, and from a month ago. So you can see that from yesterday, it's got an additional 19 words and another piece of, or another visitor each month that's coming to the site. And so far, that is the best to date. So after 1 day, we've reached the best. So not kind of surprising there. Now, this bottom here is really what is showing in Google Search Console. And I don't know if I'm going to update this like every day or just every couple of weeks or whatever. But either way, this is what I was seeing this morning. And you can see that there's been quite a bit of a difference in, I really started kind of working on the site pretty hard, probably in here. Somewhere around the middle of December. So it takes a little while to get things going, but once it starts taking off, it's really taking off. So I just kind of wanted to let you know what the update was there, and really kind of let you know now a little bit about how we got here. I've been doing SEO for what seems like forever. I got into started messing around with the internet. I was a computer programmer, so I started messing around with the internet back in probably 1999, and I was trying to find a way to make some money online. I was in the Navy at the time, and so I built this software, and I was selling it online. Back then, you could get clicks pretty cheap on Google AdWords, so I was driving traffic to my landing page, making sales, and for every dollar I spent, I made $2. So I was pretty happy about that. Now, over time, the profit margins went down a little bit. The amount of time that it takes to do customer service and all that stuff. I was trying to do it a one-man gang style, and it really got to be unwieldy, and I, kind of realized that I wasn't making a lot of money with it. So the business wound up going away, but one of the things that I learned along the way was that search engine optimization could make a big difference. I kind of ran across this trick on how to rank well in Google, and I did that, and I was kind of shocked in that the next day, or a few days later, I wound up like number one for the term that I was going after. It was like autoresponder script or autoresponder software. So I ranked number one nationally for that. I was all excited. Things were going pretty well, and this was really, really bad timing for me. There was one of the first Google algorithms called Florida came out, and it really, you can go check the history on that if you want, but it really kind of let the wind out of my sails. I was like back on page 6 and I was on page 1 to begin with. So that didn't work. But one of the things from the software experience that I learned was that SEO was kind of amazing, really. So I started doing a number of other things, and it was all involved with tricks and ways to game the system, if you will. And I found things would work that were kind of short term, and then I was reading a forum, or I don't even remember exactly where it came from, but anyway, somebody said, if you can't use this software and make $250,000 a year, you must be a moron. So, I thought, I'm not a moron. I'm going to try that. So I went and bought the software, and I looked at it, and I made a few pages, and I was like, man, I like the concept, but I really don't like the way they're doing it. They're essentially going out to Google, scraping the content, and using it on the sites. I wasn't a fan of that. Felt like kind of stealing to me. So anyway, I wound up making my own type of thing where I would do something similar, and what I wound up making a little bit of money, but I wasn't really able to scale until I was at one point I got a bunch of snippets and was able to build out websites so fast, and it was just crazy. Back in the days, when you could get anything to rank in Google, I was building these sites, and I could literally spend $7. I was, like I said, I was a computer programmer, so I was like automating everything, and really at one point I had 50 servers, had thousands and thousands and probably tens of thousands of websites that were really churn and burn. I could buy them for $7 and they'd make $50 in about 6 weeks, and then I was on to the next one. And it doesn't sound like much, but once you start buying them 1,000 at a time, it worked pretty well for a fairly short period of time. Back then, this was really like a treadmill, and I can remember the day I logged into my Google AdSense account, and it essentially said you've been banned. So I called my wife and I said, hey, can you check this from home? And sure enough, it was the same thing. I'd been banned from Google, and probably for a good reason. And really from there, over the next few years, I would try this and try that and get up with a new trick, and I'd find a new trick and it would work, and then it would die. And it was really kind of frustrating for me, and I was really looking for shortcuts like forever. And I was always like on the trailing end of them, just when somebody released the new secret, and I'd try it and it would work, and then it wouldn't work anymore. So I was really kind of struggling trying to get things going. And my wife started a business, private investigator. If you watch this video here that you see on the screen now, you might tell a little bit about that. But anyway, she, or you can see the graphs from it. But anyway, she wanted to start a business, and since I had been had success with Google in the past, she asked me to build her website and get her ranked in Google, which was a little different for me. Everything, that I had done in the past was kind of a churn and burn. I never built a site that I really cared about. They were all disposable for me. But much different when you're working with somebody's business. And, on the inside, I was literally scared to death. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. But on the outside, I was like, oh, sure, that's great, honey. I can do that. So it was kind of weird to do. But nevertheless, it caused me to really kind of focus, and I started trying to learn a little bit more about SEO. Spent a little bit. I joined this program called. It's kind of funny. I forget, Source University, something like that. It was an Alex Becker thing, and I got in there, and they had some coaches, and I learned a little bit, but they had this offer for another, a much bigger training program from OMG Machines, One Man Gang, which is interesting because I had originally bought the OMG materials when Greg and Dave and Mike left Bring the Fresh. I was actually a member of Bring the Fresh, and kind of went over with them, and they had this introductory $100 offer, and I bought that, but I didn't buy the big program on the back end. So here I was several years later, wound up buying the new package from them to learn how to do things the right way, because I didn't want to blow it. This was pretty important for my wife. So I spent $5,000 or $6,000 for the program, whatever it was back then, and have been with them ever since, paying them a couple $1,000s a year, and it's worth every penny of it. So anyway, as I was going through the training, it kind of hit me one day that this one of the coaches started talking about providing value to Google, and that's when I realized that I had been doing the whole thing wrong. I was trying to look for tricks and things like that were shortcuts, and it really wasn't. No wonder it wasn't working. I didn't treat Google the way that they wanted to be treated. I wasn't providing Google's customers the value that they deserved. So, I went on with the idea to just provide value. So with my wife's site, I tried to make it the best that I could, which, you've got to be better than your competitors. So I wanted Google to be, I wanted Google to know that they should show my wife's site over all of the other private investigators here in Oklahoma City when people were searching for a private investigator. And, I started going things and trying to do things the right way, which is much harder than it used to be, where I could automate it and push a button. It took a lot of time and a lot of effort, but the benefits have been tremendous. Everything that I had done before, it had just been kind of transactional. I never really got to see the difference that it would make to a business owner. So, but really I was, I could see the phone calls. I can remember the first time she got a lead. It was like pretty amazing to me. I knew when she first started, she was out knocking on doors, handing out flyers, visiting with people, trying to, network and grow her business. And the first lead that we got was like kind of amazing to me. She didn't have to do anything other than, have me build the website and do that. And, she got an email with a request from somebody wanting to hire her, essentially. And she was only on page 2 then, and slowly it would increase. And, I can remember one day being home from work, and the phone rang, and my wife and I were talking, and a little while later the phone rang, and after the third time, and really this was really about an hour's period, it rang again. I asked her, I said, what are all these people calling you for? And she said that these were people that found her on Google that wanted to hire her. So I knew then that this can really make a big difference for local businesses. So I decided that I would rank my site for Oklahoma City SEO, and then I would quit my job and I would start doing this for other people. Now, things don't always work that way when when you're in a family, you have to make decisions together, and it just kept getting pushed off and pushed off. So I was working at my job, and what I wanted to do was kind of quit my job and just do SEO full time, kind of like I did in the old days, just do it right, and build these affiliate sites that would make a lot of money, but I would do it right and they would last a long time, and that's when I decided to quit my job. Got lucky; they were offering a buyout, and so I made the decision to do that. Now, a couple of odd things happened that made me change my mind from the time that I decided to do this for affiliate stuff until I actually quit my job and I got this office that I'm sitting in now. And one of the things was I had a client previously, and they literally called me up with a new idea for something that they wanted to do. I'd had pretty good success with them in the past, and they called me up with this other website that they were starting. The funny thing is I told them it was a bad idea. I said, it's, I could certainly get it to rank. You can get traffic, but your sales process is horrible. It's just not going to work. It was a national thing. They wanted to do geocaching, which is great, but most of the people that are looking for geocaching aren't looking to go spend $10 for an app, but they just saw the numbers of people that were searching for it. And I've tried to tell them, this is not buyer intent. We need to target words that people are actually going to buy something, not that people are just going to want to go out and play with their kids or something. So anyway, he insisted that I do it. And when we got off the phone, I had literally told him, I said, no, I don't think this is a good idea. But after we got off the phone, he wires me the money. And I'm like, okay, well, that's what I'll do. So I started doing that. And oddly enough, the same way that I got this client, I started trying to get another client. And, as luck would have it, and I didn't realize then, but I got lucky. I tried it again, and I got another client. They actually made their first payment while I was having my go-away lunch at my job. So, at that time, things seemed like they were really going in the right direction. I didn't realize how much luck had played the part of that, because let me tell you, the first year in business is really, really tough. I had some real troubles over the next year getting clients. It's really tough to chase people down and get them to do something, that is going to be good for them. But even I get, several robocalls a day from people trying to sell me SEO, so I kind of get it. So I struggled here and there, and then about May last year, I was listening to David Mills, and I mentioned him in OMG, and the funny thing about it is he talks a lot about personal development, for lack of a better word, but either way, some of the stuff that he talks about has really changed my life completely. But he was talking about peers, and one of the reasons why I didn't really want to do the affiliate thing was because some of the people that were close to me had kind of made fun of it a little bit. How you make websites about different products or whatever, and you get them to rank and you get people to buy them, which seems a little different than the more professional. I'm a digital marketing agency, and I get clients and I help them to make money, which is what I've been doing over the last year. It's very hard to do that, to get clients. When you're working on it yourself, you can do literally whatever you want. You make the decisions. If you make recommendations to do more content, you just go do more content. If you need more money for links, you just go spend the money. You don't have to worry about clients and them not believing in you, not having the faith, and not sticking around and always questioning how much money you want to spend. So I decided that that's really the direction that I wanted to do. And with search intent, with search engine optimization, people are actually looking for the products, or they're looking for the services. So if you're ranked highly and they come to your site and they're looking for what you have to offer, usually the sale's pretty quick and easy. So I decided then that that's really what I wanted to do. So I was looking at my cash flow numbers, and I realized that, I'm just going through cash too quickly, and I need to do something to get, I need to do something to fix the cash flow problem. So I joined another program, learning about sales, and it really helped. I had everything going. I was, I had some people that were making cold calls, and I was setting they were setting the demos, and I would, had my script and presentation and all that stuff. And, it was starting to work, and things were really starting to click, and things were going really well. And then in September of last year, I had kind of a family tragedy. My daughter and grandson were murdered, and it really kind of, takes the wind out of your sails a little bit, and things are, it was really a tough couple of months. And I realized then that what I really needed to do was kind of focus on what I wanted to do and not be out, just chasing the dollar all the time. So now, that's when I started working on this website that we talked about earlier in the video, and that I plan to document every day. Is, I want to build websites, and I want to get them to rank, and I want to make money from that, and I want to do that for me. At the same time, I know that there are a lot of other people that could really use my services, and right now I do have some time. It is something that I am still doing a little bit. You can watch the video here if you'd like to know more about that. But if you listen to the whole thing, I appreciate you taking the time to listen, and I hope that you'll come back tomorrow and see where this goes. Well, if you liked what you saw, please go ahead and like and subscribe, share this with somebody that you think that might be able to use it. And if you scroll down to the bottom of this page, if you're on my website, there's you're going to find there's some opportunities where we may be able to work together. So if you'd like to go ahead and do that, please do so. I'll talk to you soon.